In this episode of Lake Log, things are not what they seem. I come across a turtle with the brakes on. I revisit a Limpkin nest and find a mystery, and I reveal a tragic secret of one single Anhinga. That was a black-crowned night heron. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Wonder where it's going. Obviously nowhere near me. Thanks. So here's like take 5 of trying to do this, or take 6. I don't know which one it is. But anyway, you know, I'm out in the canoe again after a long time of not being out in the canoe. The heat indexes have been in the hundreds. Not very pleasant. As you can tell, I'm sweating. It's really hot. Some might say really, and some might say really, really. The lake is really high right now, and it is just choked up with hyacinth and water lettuce. Wading birds don't really want deep water. And so if there are areas where it's too deep for them to kind of poke around and hunt, they're not going to hang out there. They're going to go somewhere else. So that's kind of where we're at right now. There's always something to look at. I'm trying to keep myself positive, but I haven't seen a lot of bird life this morning other than the Limpkins, who never seem to ever go anywhere, and a few blue herons who were very shy, and that black-crowned night heron that just flew by. Planes are taking off. It's a quiet Sunday morning, and the lake is beautiful and green and lovely, but very quiet as far as bird life goes. There is actually a positive side to all of this vegetation. It is a good thing to have plants in the water because they clean the water, and lately the lake is fairly clear considering, and that's good because it allows me to see things like this. This is an old Mylar balloon, and I'm going to take this out because this will be here for, you know, past my lifetime. So I know that picking up garbage and trash in the lake is not all that interesting, and we'd rather all be looking at birds, but this stuff's not going anywhere. Once it's here forever, unless somebody takes it out. And while I'm here, we have a lovely Anhinga drying its wings on this branch over here that I'm just going to capture with my camera, which if I can get everything to cooperate. Although the Anhinga is ubiquitous to the lake, to Florida lakes, they're everywhere, and it's a good thing. They're popular. When you see Anhingas drying their wings and swimming around the water, it's a good sign because it means there's fish in the water. So if you're a fisherman and you see Anhingas, good sign. Cormorants, same thing. And even though this is an iconic kind of Florida scene, the Anhinga out there, you know, drying its wings, I never get tired of seeing it. It's actually really beautiful when they do this. And as I've said before in Lake Log, there's a reason for this. Anhingas have no oil glands in their feathers, so their feathers do not repel water. And because of that, they're able to absorb water and make them very dense and heavy, and they can swim underwater easier. They're not buoyant. So every once in a while, in order to fly, they have to dry their wings out. If they don't do that, they don't fly very well. And so when you see them drying out their wings, it's because they're probably going to change positions and fly somewhere else soon after. Like I said, I absolutely love. I just love this scene. I think it's just beautiful. I never get tired of seeing it. I guess I would rather see the Anhinga doing this than never see an Anhinga doing this, even if I saw it all the time. That's why I don't get tired of it. Does that make any sense? And so if I was to further drive this point into the mucky bottom of the lake in a dad talk kind of way, imagine what happens if the Anhinga is swimming underwater and becomes entangled in a plastic bag. It's kind of a nightmare scenario for the bird. And so one of the other reasons why I don't want the trash in the lake. And you shouldn't either. Most of us know that. Some of us don't. Some of us didn't get that lesson when we were growing up. A group of ibises is called a congregation, and as much as I want it to be ibi, which sounds cool, it's not. It's called a congregation. And on the opposite bank in the sun, there's a group of white ibises walking around and poking in the dirt and doing their ibis thing.
Legend has it that the American white ibis is the last bird to fly away before a hurricane and the first to return, and so it is often seen as a symbol of strength and resilience. But ever since I learned that a group of ibises is called a congregation, I can't help but picture them all wearing little Catholic mitre hats. What can I say? I'm a visual person.
Last time I was out, I came across a Limpkin nest. And they make a floating nest on the kind of floating vegetation. They kind of make like a little raft. And it was really great because it had like 5 or 6 of these really beautiful eggs in it. I think it's actually over here. So I'm going to head over there and see if it's still there. And if there is a Limpkin guarding it, I will keep my distance, as is the polite thing to do with Limpkins. Limpkin eggs are actually bigger than I thought they were going to be. I was kind of surprised when I saw it. They're big. Bigger than a chicken egg. Oh, yeah, it's here. So here's the nest. Like I said, last time I was out here, a few weeks ago, there were a bunch of eggs in here. I would say that these eggs did not hatch. But I don't know. This maybe looks like it might have been some predation by something. But here's the nest. You can see it with one of the eggshells kind of there. There's some pieces everywhere. But this is the kind of nest that they make. It's like a raft. I don't know. You know, it could have been a raccoon. Could have been a snake. Something either got them or they're running around somewhere being cute, and they're really cute. But I wanted to show you what that looks like. It was actually the first time I ever saw a Limpkin nest. I'd seen them kind of building them, not really gotten too close, but
When I checked on the nest the following weekend, it was completely gone, and only an impression of it was left. What, or who, would remove the entire nest?
so if you can see that dark arch of shade across the way, that's actually where I'm looking right now. Pretty far. I had said before that the Limpkin babies might be out walking around, and here are some. I don't know if they're from this nest, but it's pretty cool to see them. Little fuzzballs. When Limpkins are born, they can swim really well. And so it is very possible that these came from that nest that I found. It's very possible that they could have crossed the lake and been over here. Or there was a nest over here somewhere. I'll never really know that. And I'm pretty far away. But that adult knows I'm here and is watching me. It's always an adventure. Because I'm the guy I am, I'm going to actually try to get a little closer. Why not? What I have to do is kind of cross over the channel and then kind of pivot so that I don't have the sun directly behind behind me. The light is really terrible. It's a little bit on the harsh side, but you can see them back in there. This other little one over here on the right is watching me really carefully, and I think it's really funny. It's pretty great. Gonna back out quietly and go past them as if nothing happened. I don't know what this turtle is doing, but I'm going to see if I can figure it out. Maybe it's two turtles. I don't know. Why does it seem like you're stuck? Are you stuck on something? Are you having buoyancy problems? What's up? Ah, you are stuck. This turtle somehow got tangled up in some fishing line. I'm hoping I got my knife with me. I think I do. And my paddle is tangled up. And well, I was able to free the turtle from some fishing line, and that's good. I wasn't really expecting that, but the turtle was struggling to swim away, but tangled up in some line. Always, jeez. Always take a knife with you. Just drop the line back in the water like an idiot. Leaving Square Lake now, and I'm gonna find a piece of shade that I can sit in and cool off a little bit while I pack up my gear and head for home. But I wanted to go through this boat tunnel here. Last time I was under here, it was real early in the morning, and I had my flashlight, and I started poking around looking at stuff. The apple snails were glued to the wall and were laying eggs, and there was also in the water with my flashlight I could see a couple of fish. One of them was a Pleco, which is a sucker fish. They eat algae, and there are a lot of them in this lake. They actually get quite big, and that was cool to see. The water, like I said, is really quite clear considering. So as I go through here, I'm going to turn on this little Action 4, and I'm going to see what's down here. I know that this has a kind of a gravelly bottom. It might be really too dark for video, and I'm just seeing what happens in here. I like this tunnel. It's a nice place to get out of the sun or the rain. Speaking of which, so that's actually pretty cool. There's a giant Pleco right here. It is huge, and I'm trying to record it here. You can maybe see it down there. And that is a very nice sized peacock bass. You can see over my shoulder here the hyacinth and water lettuce that I pointed out last week does not look so green this week. It could be because of herbicides being used to control the aquatic plant growth in the lake. Aquatic plant management in Florida is important because if left unchecked, these invasive plants will completely engulf the surface of the lake, cover it, block out the light, killing the plants underneath, robbing the water of oxygen, and the fish life suffers as a result. Not to mention, the lake becomes non-navigable. So, although the use of an herbicide is controversial, it is necessary. I'm not a scientist, and I'm by no means an expert in any of these fields. So I don't know if continued use of herbicides has a long-term effect on the species that live here or not. That remains to be seen. This kind of thing happens to me a lot out here. I'll record video and then return home and see things I never saw. Sometimes it's just another bird nearby that was poking around. Sometimes it's some behavioral tick that I didn't really notice that then I get to study further. Sometimes it's an insect or a reptile or something in the frame that I just didn't see. Because of the distances that I work, the length of the lens, and the screens, they're small. And my close vision is not that great anyway. It's not until I get home that I see the real story behind a lot of what I record. I put the video on the screen and instantly I think, what is that? I zoom in and it's as I feared. Monofilament line going in the Anhinga's mouth. Did it swallow a bait? Did it swallow a lure? Is there a hook on it? How far down is it? Is it in the Anhinga's stomach? Is this bird gonna die? I don't have all the answers. I'm not an ornithologist and I'm not a scientist. I'm a photographer. So if I come across this bird again, I'm gonna try to get it some help. And I hope I do. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna try. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, very often, things are not what they seem. Thanks for watching. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Do we have audio? No? Maybe not. Maybe we don't have audio. Maybe it's all going to now.